lengths off the lead, 3 lengths clear of Wildcat Dancing to Sunrise, who was just passed by Silver Flirt. Odie's Memory Lane has been left alone on the front end. DeSormo asking, hello, kiddo. Kiddo to take up the chase, but is almost 3 lengths behind in second. Here's OK Rose putting in a bid on the inside of Religiously, who's dropping back. Then Wildcat Dancing, Odie's Memory Lane sailing along. OK Rose takes up the chase nicely into second. These are the two. OK Rose within 2.5 of Odie's Memory Lane, who keeps on going. Odie's Memory Lane, OK Rose coming with every stride, though, and OK Rose gets up under Armando Ayuso, who kept after this filly until she ran down Odie's Memory Lane. Hello, Kiddo. Kiddo was third. Wildcat Dancing was fourth. The fourth starts our California Stakes program today. The Golden State Series eligibles participate in the Thor's pays to be Calbred. And they're off. And Booksmart bounces out beautifully as usual. Tapatio Leo has his speed, and Tapatio Leo and Booksmart will go at it from the start. Geezer is just off them, 2 back in third. Then it was Private Gem in fourth. Not the best of beginnings for Spiritual Advisor, and it is a distance to Final Storm. Booksmart leads. Tapatio Leo keeps him honest. They've sped 4 lengths clear. Private Gem and Geezer third and fourth. 3 more to Spiritual Advisor, and a long way to Final Storm there midway on the far turn. Booksmart trying to edge away from Tapatio Leo, who keeps coming at him second. The other two getting closer, both Private Gem and Geezer. Spiritual Advisor is on the far outside. They turn for home. Booksmart, here comes Private Gem on the inside, and Private Gem means business with a furlong left to go. Runs right by Booksmart. In the center of the track, Spiritual Advisor, and Final Storm from far back is closing stoutly into third, but it's Private Gem sizzling home. Private Gem and Umberto Rispoli to win the Thor's Echo. Final Storm from nowhere into second, then Booksmart and Spiritual Advisor. Cernano moves up in between those two. Topper's Wager second to last, and Jenny's Tiz at the back of the field. It's Better Be Lucky and Don't Be Fooled Again. Those two hook up with less than 6 furlongs to run. They've pulled 6 lengths clear of Naval Harbor and Cernano. Silver and Black, well spotted, 8 lengths off that battle. It's another 5 back to They're Not Like Us. Topper's Wager is down at the rail, and Jenny's Tiz, 4.5 furlongs to go. And it's Better Be Lucky doing battle with Don't Be Fooled Again. They've been 1-2 and racing as a team. Cernano moving in from third. Naval Harbor at the rail in fourth. Silver and Black still with 6 lengths to make up. He is followed by Jenny's Tiz on the outside of Topper's Wager, and They're Not Like Us. Midway on the far turn, Don't Get Fooled Again and Better Be Lucky. Silver and Black looming large now, coming after the top pair. Past the quarter pole, Don't Get Fooled Again. Silver and Black on the outside. Better Be Lucky is back to third. Cernano is down on the inside. Then Jenny's Tiz, they're in the final furlong. And Silver and Black emerges with the lead, opens up 3. Jenny's Tiz takes up the chase on the outside nicely. Silver and Black, Jenny's Tiz within 2. Silver and Black a length. Jenny's Tiz keeps coming. Silver and Black got there. Jenny's Tiz just missed. Don't Get Fooled Again held on to third, and it's a photo for fourth. pays to be Calbret. And they're off to a beautiful start in the Franz Valentine. Prancing through Paris came out smoothly, and Sneaker on the inside. The two favorites going right at it from the start. Just in behind them, it's Blevy's Tiger, who takes the third position, moving into the clubhouse turn. Cornelia Fort is next. Shocking Gray backs off fifth, 5 lengths off the lead. She is just in front of Ashley's Sandcastle, and Quantum Energy is 8 lengths off front-running Sneaker, who makes it onto the backstretch in front by a length. Prancing through Paris under a tight hold second. The same could be said for Blevy's Tiger, who's 3 deep and just 3/4 off the leader third. Then Cornelia Fort drafting in behind horses. Shocking Gray is 4 lengths off the lead, coming to the half-mile pole. Ashley's Sandcastle and Quantum Energy. Sneaker has been the speed throughout. Prancing through Paris a half length away second. Blevy's Tiger continues a 3-wide journey, and Cornelia Fort is down on the rail. Shocking Gray races in fifth. Called on now, 4 lengths off the lead. Quantum Energy and Ashley's Sandcastle. A 1/4 mile to go in the Franz Valentine, and prancing through Paris is traveling kindly on the outside of Sneaker. They arrive at the 8th pole together. Sneaker kicks right back on the inside, and prancing through Paris, Sneaker opens up a length and a half, make it to Cornelia Fort, trying to alter course. Sneaker tough as nails, going strongly to the wire under Kazushi Kimura. It will be Sneaker to score. Cornelia Fort second. Through Paris, held third. Shocking Gray was fourth. Of horse. His grandson, Junior, is just chronicling Earl. Is that Gray's and fractious? Joy moving around. And they're off in the Millair. Going deep in the air tonight, Fibonacci's Ride. Fibonacci's Ride goes after Going Deep, and those two sprint clear in the early going. Lady Mendelssohn comes away in third. She's right on horse's heels, having to angle out to avoid running right into Going Deep. She now goes to her inside as Going Deep went wide into the turn. Then in the air tonight, Sunset Grazing. Almond Joy hopped at the start and is at the back by herself, some 7 lengths off the pace. And it's a contested battle as Going Deep, intent on getting to the front. Fibonacci's Ride comes right back, though, and Fibonacci's Ride is naturally quicker than Going Deep as they come past the 5/8 pole. In the air tonight, a length and a half off them in third, and Sunset Grazing widest of all, but very much in contention. Lady Mendelssohn is next. Kenta Sormo and Almond Joy at the back with less than a half mile to travel. And the lead belongs to Fibonacci's Ride, who's been there throughout. Leads it by about a length over Going Deep, who's trying to cling to her in second. Now, Lady Mendelssohn picks up the chase in third. In the air tonight, Fort, Sunset Grazing tailing off now in fifth. And Almond Joy starts to run, but has more than a dozen to make up. They have a 1/4 mile to go. And Going Deep takes another crack at Fibonacci's Ride and runs right by her at the top of the stretch. Almond Joy is starting to rally, coming through along the inside with big strides, has to get to Going Deep. Going Deep, 3-length lead. Almond Joy eating up the real estate on the inside. Going Deep, Almond Joy. Going Deep, Almond Joy. Almond Joy's getting her in the final stages. Almond Joy and Kenta Sormo in a stellar performance from last to first to win the Millair. Going Deep was second. Lady Mendelssohn checked in third. 1986 silver screen handicap. Freeport Joe to the outside. And And they're off in the Crystal Water, and King's River Knight, as expected, is hustled right to the front, gets to the rail and opens up two. Stamp My Passport second in the opening furlong, and Barely Functional third in front of Takes Three. Coalinga Road is 5 lengths off the pace moving into the first turn. The two trailers are Clouseau and Freeport Joe. Around the first turn, it's Juan Hernandez and King's River Knight leading the way with less than 6 furlongs to travel. Left alone on the front end, has it by almost 2 lengths. Stamp My Passport is now trying to come after him in second. Then Barely Functional, racing side by side with Coalinga Road, who gets a good trip down at the rail. They're followed by Takes Three, 4 lengths off the lead, Clouseau and Freeport Joe. The pace is moderate, and King's River Knight is in charge. Has it by 3/4 of a length to Stamp My Passport. Coalinga Road clearly into third. Between rivals, Takes Three and Barely Functional. Clouseau and Freeport Joe remain at the back of the field. They're coming to the quarter pole. King's River Knight in front of half a length. Stamp My Passport trying to test him second. Takes Three, Coalinga Road. They're at the top of the stretch. And King's River Knight is set down. Opens up 3 on Stamp My Passport. Coalinga Road trying his best. And Takes Three, 16th pole. King's River Knight. He owns the Crystal Water 3 in a row, and he just cruised. Strolling in by 4. Takes Three and Coalinga Road in a tight photo for second, but it was a one-horse race. The 7-year-old, King's River Knight. The gate. And they're off. Even start. Petite Filet, No Cap, has plenty of early speed, and Chasing Cat in the yellow colors is now quickest of them all and up to take the lead. So it will be Chasing Cat to set the tempo. Petite Filet is down on the inside. Elton Sings Another now moves into second, and No Cap is a close-up for just 2.5 off the lead. Clubhouse Bride is next, racing on the outside of Lady Gregory. Lady Gregory is right on horse's heels, having a little bit of trouble right now. Outside of her, there's a Silver Lining and another 2 back to Thirsty Trickster. Very compact field moves toward the quarter pole, and it's Elton Sings Another, Clubhouse Bride right up alongside to challenge. A wide bid coming from Lady Gregory, who's kept in the clear as they reach the top of the stretch. Clubhouse Bride, Lady Gregory on the outside is trying to get to her in second, and in behind horses, No Cap having traffic trouble, finds a seam now and is coming with a dangerous late bid. It's Clubhouse Bride, No Cap takes off on the inside. No Cap deserved to win it, and win it she will. Clubhouse Bride was second. Lady Gregory checked in a non-threatening third. It was a long way back to Elton Sings Another. There are no changes. Super high 5 wagering is offered. Last one is Santa Barbarian. And they're off in the Snow Chief, presented by City National Bank. Very even start. Style Cat out quickly. Drop 'em wants the lead. Bro out in the center of the course is close up too. Now Cali Cat guided inside by Juan Hernandez, just in front of Prince of Del Mar, who's 5th and 4.5 lengths off the lead. Western Freedom is toward the back of the field with Got Soul and Santa Barbarian outside of him. Bro's in front into the first turn. Opens up a couple of lengths on Drop 'em in second. At the rails, Style Cat drafts in behind the top pair, and Cali Cat under a nice hold for just 3 lengths off the lead. Prince of Del Mar is 11.5 behind him. Santa Barbarian inching forward. He is 2 lengths clear of Western Freedom, and Got Soul will do his best running later on. They're heading to the half-mile pole in the Snow Chief presented by City National Bank. And it is Bro, joined by Drop 'em. They race together as one. Style Cat down at the rail is a joint third heading into the far turn. Cali Cat covers him up. Another couple of lengths back to Santa Barbarian. Prince of Del Mar is next. Got Soul inching forward now, has 6 to make up, leaving Western Freedom at the back of the field. Bro has dropped right out of it. Bro surrenders midway on the far turn. They come to the quarter pole, and Cali Cat goes on. Cali Cat opens up a length and a half on Santa Barbarian. Got Soul revving up in the center of the course. There's an eighth of a mile to go, and it's Cali Cat in front. Santa Barbarian running a giant race, coming to challenge him at the 16th pole. Cali Cat on the outside, Santa Barbarian. Santa Barbarian runs right by to win the Snow Chief Stakes. Cali Cat was second. Got Soul was rallying in a three-way battle for third with Prince of Del Mar and Drop 'em. A great performance from Santa Barbarian and an extraordinary afternoon for Richard Barton.
Tom Quigley alongside a member of the Santa Anita simulcast team, Millie Ball. Delighted you decided to join us on a Sunday. Millie, you know, a lot of times people come to the racetrack and they do it to escape from reality, but once in a while, real life impacts our community. And unfortunately, that was the case just a few hours ago with the sad news that trainer Christophe Clement had lost his battle against cancer at the age of 59. It stunned and surprised all of us because he kept it very private. I knew Christophe as a horse player because he shipped a lot of his good horses out here to support Southern California Graded Stakes program. I'm very, very surprised and saddened by the news, as I mentioned, and I know that you knew both Christophe and his wife, and it's never a pleasant thing to talk about.
Not at all. So our deepest condolences go out to Valerie, his wife, his children. Nicolas Clement is actually the first Clement that I met when I was working with John Hammond out in France, and then got to meet his brother Christophe, and spent some fun times in Hong Kong together traveling with the racehorses. So Valerie's a wonderful lady, and as I mentioned, our deepest condolences go out to them all.
I agree, Millie. It's a very, very sad day, but you know, the show must go on, as they say, and we've got a very good card. And yesterday, the fireworks really exploded in the last race. Ryan Hansen's horse won at odds of 43-1, and it triggered a couple of things. The first thing it triggered was a super high five carryover of $23,000 in today's final race, which will go as race 10. Also, there was one winning ticket in the pick six. It paid $107,000. It was purchased for $960 at ExpressBet. So congratulations to that very skilled and lucky ticket holder who is probably still dancing after not sleeping all night after hitting that big score. The pick six is a beautiful thing.
And word is it wasn't Michelle Hansen that had it.
No, it was not. We already checked with the ExpressBet people, but it would have been even a greater story if it was her or her husband. But congratulations to them. They won the Snow Chief.
Yes.
Big prices, Santa Barbarian breaking from the outside.
And Richard Barton, I mean, just a brilliant, breeder, especially with those Calbreds. So
what a day he had.
He had an
multiple
amazing
winners.
Day. 3 of them that he bred won. So congratulations to Richard Barton and, of course, the Hansen.
Now, Millie, after celebrating with the Hansens last night and barely getting any sleep myself, I wasn't able to traverse the backside this morning, but you were back there. You're back there every single morning. What are some maybe tidbits, early stable notes that you witnessed earlier this morning?
Well, Raging Torrent worked for the Doug O'Neill barn. He, of course, won the Malibu and more recently the Godolphin Mile. He looked very good, and Doug O'Neill actually posted this morning that he will be heading out to New York for the Met Mile, so Saratoga for him. Johannes worked. He had
horse
his second.
Close to your heart.
Yes, he had his second work back. He
How
went
far?
3
How
furlongs, just a nice 3 furlongs. He's just, baby steps right now. And the beautiful thing was that he just looked as smooth as he always does over the main track. So that was good news. And then a horse that I want you guys to follow, because I fell on this brilliant story. I saw this massive horse at Richard Baltus's barn yesterday, and he was hollering. He was making such a noise. And I said, who is that? I don't recognize that horse. He said that his name is Henry Adams. Well, the story is Henry Adams was owned by Coolmore, and Aidan O'Brien was training him. He went off to stud, actually here in the U.S. He stood for $4,000. Obviously, it didn't work out because he came back into training. Richard Baltus has him.
Unbelievable.
And he is the most huge, beautiful horse. And yeah, I saw him, he's galloping right now. Saw him galloping, and then on the way back, he spotted the pony, John on the pony, and started hollering and everything. But he's a stakes winner. Won 2, I believe, for 6 starts. His win in the stakes was over in Ireland. So just an interesting horse to follow.
Speaking about interesting, Millie, you were on the other side of the nation last week covering the races for Pimlico as part of their simulcast team. You saw the Preakness as well. First, what was your experience like at Pimlico during Preakness week?
It was, it was almost bittersweet because it was the last time, at Old Hilltop before the grandstands torn down and they start their refurbishments. So from that perspective, it was nice. It felt very historical. But there were, a lot of people were very sad about it. Hopefully, the future, looking forward to that. Next year, the Preakness, of course, will be at Laurel Park. But the race itself, fireworks.
Were you on the
in the finish.
Set? What was your vantage point for the actual Preakness race?
I was on the jockey's porch where we were broadcasting live. watched the Preakness Stakes, and actually the simulcast didn't show back any replay. So it was, I had to sort of go off my immediate thoughts, and then we were able to see the replay later on from the NBC coverage. But yes, it was a very dramatic finish. And journalism, we're all waiting, with bated breath to see if he's going to have another date with Sovereignty in the Belmont Stakes.
13 days from now is the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga Racecourse. As Millie mentioned, the Met Mile and many other races will be run on that same day. It should be a great day of racing. But we've got a great day of racing as well. We're waiting with bated breath to find out who Millie likes on today's 10-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's Sunday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast and the turf is firm. Rail on the turf out 10 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, number 7, Chase and Ryan, 1 pound over. In the second race, no scratches or jockey changes. The third is the Santa Margarita, scratch number 3, Where's My Ring? Race 3, scratch number 3. The fourth race, we offer a middle pick 4. No changes. In the fifth, the pick 6 starts. Number 7, Jimmy Delivers, 2 pounds over. Race 6, scratch 1, Polythene Pam, and scratch number 6, Happy as a Clam. Note that the all-turf pick 3 and late pick 5 start with the 6th. The 7th, scratch 1, Just Is, scratch 4, Full Moon Brazen, and scratch number 7, St. Sheila. In the 7th, scratch 1, 4, and 7. In the 8th race, we have a blinker note. The 9th starts the late daily double. No scratches or jockey changes. And in the 10th, super high 5 wagering is offered. Number 6, Sexy Blue, ridden by Serafin Carmona. 22,000 plus. No one hit the super high 5 yesterday. And so 22,000 plus in the carryover for today. Enjoy your afternoon. Lots of activities in the infield. They are up and running. Families having fun. We have the Coast to Coast Pick 5 offered every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It starts today in an hour and a half. Gulfstream's 8th will kick it off. 3 of the races are from Santa Anita today. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner, where his special guest today is Millie Ball.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Millie Ball. She's part of the simulcast team right here at St. Anita. You'll see her on the simulcast desk throughout the day, but I wanted to pick her brain to see who she likes on today's 10-race card. So, Millie, let's kick things off in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. Race 1 is a split of race 5, and it's for the baby. That's a maiden special weight Calbred 2-year-old race going 4.5 furlongs in the main track. We've got a field of 7. More line favorite, number 3, Trump Era from the Ryan Hansen barn, might win races back-to-back. Consecutively the last race yesterday and the first race today. But you wanted to show a workout here, Millie. It's for number 6, Southern Melody. It's a gate workout, and Southern Melody is going to be down on the inside. I want you to pay close attention to the start of the workout.
Yeah, look at this workout. I mean, not only did the horse break slow, but then really bobbled badly, this colt. But he springs back up on his feet. And to recover like that and end up working like this.
And so quickly.
In 48 and 4, I thought this was a really good work. Edwin Maldonado was aboard for the work. And it's encouraging that you see him booked in the saddle to ride this 2-year-old colt by Smokem. Northern Song, this is actually a half-sister sister to a horse that broke the maiden, going 4.5 furlongs by over 5 lengths at Santa Anita. So there's definitely some precocity with this family. But I just thought that, finishing up here, you can see that Edwin Maldonado is doing a real nice job. He's keeping this horse in the bridle. It's a 2-year-old. 2-year-olds have to learn. They love to sort of learn to run through the bridle. It keeps them feeling confident, and I like the way that he finished there. So Southern Melody, definitely one to look at. I do think Trump Era is the one to beat in here, as you touched on, Tom. For Ryan Hansen, just having the experience, the Cat Burglar 2-year-old colt. Ryan, by the way, is having the meat of his career. He really is. 19%. I don't remember seeing Ryan Hansen at 19%. So kudos to him and his entire operation.
And kudos to breeder Terry Levenger. Of the 7 runners in race 1 today, you can see that 4 of them are bred by Mr. Levenger, primarily down at his ranch in Love Acres in Temecula, California. Let's turn the page, Millie. Take a look at race number 2, begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We are on the turf course. The rails today are at 10 feet, and this is an allowance optional claiming race. 9 winners of 2. Other than we've got a field of 6. Number 3, We're in Trouble, adding blinkers for trainer Michael McCarthy, is 2-1 on the morning line. Is We're in Trouble the horse to beat?
You know what? I thought Virat was actually the horse to beat in here. I think those are the top 2 contenders, though. I did actually ask Dan Blacker if his 6-year-old was going to be fit enough to win off the shelf, and he said yes. So he is ready to go. So I thought Virat, with the speed that he has, and I think he draws well, being outside any other speed, that see-through, it's not going to be quicker than Virat. So I think it's a great post position. We're in Trouble, is definitely edging forward through those races, beaten double, the double favorite beat in those last 2 races. Draws slightly better, however, Tom. If you look at the last 2 times that We're in Trouble has run, has been toward the outside, and now gets on a better post on the turf course.
Millie, you mentioned Ryan Hansen is having a career. What about Dan Blacker? He's had a good 8 months or so. Won the Breeders' Cup Sprint, went overseas, won a big prestigious race there as well.
Yep.
So good to see Dan Blacker getting a lot of wins with limited starters.
Yeah, indeed.
Race number 3 is our feature race on today's card. It's the Grade 2 Santa Margarita Stakes, $200,000 guaranteed for fillies and mares, traveling 1 1/8 miles on the main track. Scratch the 3, Where's My Ring? Leaves us with a field of 5, 2 of whom are trained by Bob Baffert, including the morning line favorite, number 4, Splendora, who lost last time out to Ricci. 6-5 on the morning line. What say you about race 3, Millie?
Well, I went back and forth here because Juan Hernandez is on Splendora, and it looks on paper like he got to choose, and he went with Splendora. However, Seismic Beauty, or Seismic Beauty if you're American, this 4-year-old filly is so fast. I mean, she wants to rip around there in the mornings, and she does. She's very, very quick. And you could see that when she ran first time out going long. And I expect the same thing. And with these 2 being the speed and race, I can't see Bob, saying, let's try something different today with Seismic Beauty, because Splendor is the better of the 2. So I just think that it's going to be a Bob Baffert exactor in there, and Princess of Time would be my horse to provide some value in that 3rd race.
Princess of Time, Millie ran against the males last time out, now drops into her own division. So certainly that was a good effort. And let's take a look at the PPs for number 6, and I'll pronounce it Seismic Beauty. She routed for the first time last time out and won by 10 lengths. As a handicapper, I want to know, because you're a horsewoman, is the first time a horse goes 2 turns likely to be their best effort ever going 2 turns, simply because it comes as a surprise to them?
In my opinion, if they are distance limited, the first time is the best opportunity because of exactly that. They're surprised. And in this situation, being by Uncle Mo and out of a Medaglia d'Oro, I don't see distance getting her beat. I think if anything gets her beat, it's that she gets some company by Splendora and pushes the button too much. But I had an interesting little fact on this, being the Santa Margarita. The inaugural race was run in 1935.
I wasn't here.
Right? Ron McAnally was about 2 years old when this inaugural race ran. Still, as we know, he's got 1 or 2 horses back here on the backside at Santa Anita, and all that he has accomplished in all
race.
those years.
Correct.
and particularly in this race.
Brilliant
Yes.
horseman.
Indeed.
One of a kind. His background was incredible, coming from an orphanage and becoming a world-class trainer. He brings back a lot of good memories in the 80s
Yeah.
and 90s, Millie.
Yeah.
Race number 4 begins the 50-cent middle pick 4. That's right. We offer a 50-cent middle pick 4 on any race cards that are 10 or over. And we kick off the 50-cent middle pick 4 in race 4, sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. It's a starter allowance race for fillies and mares, a field of 7. Number 1, Lovin' on the Run from the Doug O'Neill barn is the 2-1 morning line favorite. You like the inside sprinting on the turf course, Millie?
I do. Loving on the Run. She's 5 years old now. And for me, she's just, up until the day that she was claimed, she'd been running against some pretty tough races, those allowance races. Carla dropped her in for the claim, and she won very handily. And I think just, the starter allowance is not going to be as tough as some of the races that she was coming out of before she was dropped in class. So to me, I like her. And then Avetta's Hobby was very interesting. She's fast. She draws outside in here, and I just don't think that Lovin' on the Run is going to press her too much. So she might get loose on the lead out here.
Another question for you, Millie, handicapping-wise. Avetta's Hobby is the only 3-year-old filly running against other fillies and mares. At this time of year, which we're basically in late May, does a 3-year-old running against older concern you or not necessarily?
I think it's less so for me when you're talking about on the turf, more so when you're on the dirt. But I feel
because it's
like
less
they're
taxing?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I just feel they're starting to, that gap is starting to narrow now at this stage of the year.
And we see that with the males as well, no matter what the surface might be. Race number 5 begins the $2 pick 6. As mentioned yesterday, one winning ticket in the pick 6 paid in excess of $100,000. But as I also previously mentioned, race 5 is a split of race number 1, the same conditions, 4.5 furlongs in the main track. Maiden special weight, Calbred 2-year-olds. We've got a field of 8. Morning line favorite number 3. Can't Help Myself from the John Sadler barn is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Saul Elliott on the bottom is another Doug O'Neill trainee, first-time starter. You wanted to show a workout from the gate back on May 11th. We're going to watch Saul Elliott break from the inside. And before you describe the workout, Millie, when I watched it, the one word that I wrote down is determination. She seemed very determined throughout this entire workout.
And, she came back with a sharp 3-furlong drill after this. So in my mind, they are looking for speed with this 2-year-old colt. The way that they have, prepared him for this race. And he's got Indian Charlie on the bottom, who's by in excess. That's a lot of speed that's brought from that pedigree. So Saul Elliott out of the gate, yes, not the sharpest out of the gate, but still, I think that this colt's going to show enough speed where he's going to break and try and get over and not, lose too much, because the 4.5 furlongs, there's not much room before you hit that turn. So you want to break cleanly and you want to try and get over as quickly as you can.
And with the workouts we've shown, Millie, both the 2 we've seen up to this point and 1 additional ones, all the workers are on the inside. And for these 2-year-old underraced horses up to this point, being on the inside can be intimidating for a first-time starter.
Very much so. And I think that you'll find, at least in our barn, that, they're switched around. They'll do one work out of the gate on the outside, one from the inside. It sort of changes up depending on who they're in company with, but and how far they're along. But in this case, down on the inside there. And the shameless plug here, but that is the beauty of First TV Works.
It's incredible.
Is these races. I mean, there are so much that the works offer, in my opinion.
Information is the key to handicapping. Like we can listen to other clockers' reports or maybe do something else, look at the pedigree, but until we actually see the video, which is provided free of charge at firsttv.com, it's an incredible handicapping asset that Southern California and other racing venues that are owned by First have in terms of providing information to handicappers.
Yeah, indeed. So, and I use them very much in all these 2-year-old races we've got coming up now. They're invaluable, in my opinion.
Go to firsttv.com and you can watch any workout on demand, absolutely free of charge. Race number 6 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 alt turf pick 3. The $3 alt turf pick 3 has a reduced 15% takeout. We kick off both wagers in race 6 going 1 mile on the turf course. It's for fillies and mares. Start our optional claiming types. There are 2 scratches here. Take out the 1 and the 6. That leaves us with a field of 6. Wordplay first off the claim for Jeff Mullins is a 3-2 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 6, Millie.
I really do like Will, but I know that Simon Callahan's barn really liked this filly going into her race. She obviously was claimed from that race. She drew an outside post that day. She comes back in an outside post today. And Jeff Mullins, I mean, he's having a great meet. So I'm just expecting this to continue, and wordplay is going to be very tough in here. I did think that Happy as a Clam scratching out of here maybe lessened the speed a little bit. Cypress Moon, though, as a long shot, has a chance to wire the field in here.
It's her first time going long, fitting that pattern we just spoke about.
Exactly. And she's got no time for squalls to the inside of her, who has some speed. But now with the scratch of Happy as a Clam, I think it allows her more of a chance to get a lone lead in here. And then Miss Brightside, Tom, has actually never officially won in this country in 11 starts. So that deterred me a little bit. That's why I ended up putting the outside horse on top, wordplay, because Miss Brightside might be just one of those that whatever level you run her at, she just seems to get beat.
She's a little camera shy.
Yes.
Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. If you have your program in front of you, taking a look at who the race is named in honor of. Happy birthday, Darren and Cecil Barber, father and son team. Hopefully they're on track celebrating their joint birthdays. Both were born on the same day, believe it or not. So we kick off race 7 with the 50-cent late pick 4. It's sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. $10,000 is the claiming tag. There are a number of scratches in this race. Program scratch of the 4, but also take out of the race 1 and 7. Leaves us with a field of 5. The morning line favorite, number 5, Discrepancy from the Peter Billingard. 3-1 on the morning line. What say you about race 7, Millie?
Discrepancy is as honest as they come. We had her in the barn toward the beginning of her career, and she's won 6 races. She runs for anyone who has her. It's about finding the right level for her, and I think she's in the right level this afternoon. She does like a setup. You'll see her come from off the pace. And if there's a smoking hot pace, I think that she's the one that'll win this race. But sees the image, showed a lot of speed inside when she ran last time out. That was on a wet, fast track. The race prior to that, she was able to wire the field. And if she can do that this afternoon, then I think she has a chance of repeating that race on the 8th of March. If she gets pressure, that's like we saw in her last race, then I don't think she's nearly as effective.
You know, Millie, Discrepancy, you mentioned you had her in her barn. Of course, she ran at a lower level, but sprinting on the dirt is what she wants to do. There's not much to her. Back on January 1st, New Year's Day, she weighed a whopping 936 pounds. But despite those limitations, she is popular at the claim box. Back on March 28th, there were 3 claims in the race before that on February 28th. There were 7 claims in. You know, the trainers want this filly because they know she fits this condition and they can make money. Exactly.
And she's proven that she's very consistent. As I mentioned, she's as honest as the day is long, so she will run for you. And the sweetest filly, too. She's very, very sweet.
Race number 8 begins the $3 late pick 3, also with a reduced 15% take on it. We kick off that wager going a mile and an eighth on the turf course for maiden special weights. There is one 4-year-old in the field. The other are 3-year-olds. Also take note, number 4, West is a first-time gelding. Morning line favorite is number 7, Broski from the Phil D'Amato barn. 2-1 on the morning line. We want to watch the replay for Broski's last performance. That was back on April 26th. We're going to watch this replay and watch Broski break from post position number 1. So he's going to be easy to follow. Take a look when you watch the replay, how uncomfortable Broski is throughout the entire running of the race. You be the judge whether or not he should have been unsaddled in the winner's circle at 8-1 that day. I think he was best, but we'll take a look at it courtesy of our friends at firsttv.com. We'll listen to Frank Miramite describe the action of Broski's last performance on April 26th and watch him break from post position number 1.
And they're off. Day and Age began well, so did Broski along the inside. Mutaz moving right into contention, followed by Cuban Confusion. Then it's Tappet Dynasty in the blue racing in between rivals. They're followed by Catch the Breeze moving into the first turn. Wolf Away is 3 deep down at the rail. Midnight Strike in front of that pair, and Redial trails. Day Age takes them around the first turn. Mutaz a clear-cut second. Broski on the rail in third. Then Tap It Dynasty 4 off the pace in fourth. They are followed by Cuban Confusion, who's tugging a bit, racing on the outside of Midnight Strike. 2 more lengths to Catch the Breeze. Redial is second to last, and 4 clear of Wolf Away. Day and Age, Mutaz come to the half-mile pole 1-2, with Broski 2 off them at the rail in third. Then Tap It Dynasty. Cuban Confusion is fifth, but now just 3 lengths off the lead. Catch the Breeze, Midnight Strike, 2 clear of Redial. Wolf Away at the back, around the far turn, and Mutaz starts to put the pressure on Day and Age. These two head and head, joined 3 wide by Cuban Confusion. Down at the rail comes Broski. Catch the Breeze is in the thick of it, swinging to the far outside for the drive, top of the lane. Day and Age, Mutaz on the inside. Broski's trying to find a spot, maybe one from the rail, and on the outside, Cuban Confusion. They're inside the 8th ball. Day and Age just keeps on going. Cuban Confusion on the outside, and Broski. Day and Age, Broski. Broski's trying to get to Day and Age. Here is the line. Photo finish.
Tough beat, Millie. We watched other runners compete in that replay that are also running in today's 8th race, including Midnight Strike, Mutaz, Catch the Breeze, and others. But I think Broski was best. That was my evaluation. But that was at a mile. Today's distance is a mile and an eighth. As you well know, that eighth of a mile can make a big difference.
It can, but I think the way that he was sitting quietly, stalking most of the way, and then had that real acceleration, that's the type of horse you need to go a mile and an eighth. So I'm looking forward to him running back. The poor guy has been down on the rail in his last 3 races. So he'll get in post position number 7 this time around. If he doesn't get any pressure, because I think he'll be on the lead, I think he gallops.
Fair enough. That's a very strong statement from you, Millie. Let's see if you have a similar opinion in race number 9, which begins the $5 late daily double, also with a reduced 15% takeout. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Fillies and Mares, non-winners of 2 races, lifetime in for a $16,000 tag. Field of 8, number 1, Mucho Magical, taking the blinkers off for trainer Alfredo Marquez, is 3-1 on the morning line, indicating that this is a bit of an open race. Who do you like and why in race 9, Millie?
Yes, she's a little bit of a question mark, actually, Mucho Magical, because I'm not sure what she's going to do. She had speed. Has she lost the speed? And now they're going to try to see if she will come from off the pace. I don't know with the blinkers coming off. I felt like there was a good amount of speed from Matina in here for Ryan Hansen. When you see Ryan and you see Adrian together, it's usually speed. Misty Muppet, if you throw out that turf race, you can certainly look at Misty Muppet. And I really respect Mark Reinford as a trainer. He has had a solid meet with the limited amount of horses he started. Or could it be Ryan's Girl that gets the setup? So very much an open race. If I've got to go with 2 horses in here, though, I'm going to go with Misty Muppet because of the connections and the number 4, Ryan's Girl, imagining that we're going to get a setup with the speed in here.
We started the pick 6 in race number 5 with a number of first-time starters. We end the pick 6 sequence in race number 10 also with a number of first-time starters. In addition to that, race number 10 does have that aforementioned super high 5 carryover that you can see on the bottom of the screen. $22,000 in change up for grabs in race number 10 in the super high 5 pool. And we're traveling 6.5 furlongs on the turf course for maiden special weight Calbred. Fillies and Mares, take out the also eligibles. 12, 13, and 14 will not compete. Make the jockey number 6, Sexy Blue, Seraphin Carmona. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Millie, you wanted to show a workout for number 8, Goatski. Goatski is going to be the horse trailing here on the training track. Winds up closing ground once again on the inside. Why'd you want to show this workout?
Well, I wanted to show this workout because it's a 6.5 furlong turf event, and this is a first-time starter. So you get a good indication of how this filly is handling the synthetic, which usually transfers well to the turf. So Goatski's working along here by Bronski out of Eurogoat, who was all turf, by the way, the dam. And is sitting very relaxed, very nicely behind. The assistant's going to sort of open up the gap and allow Goatski to come up the rail. which you will see doing right now. So professional, handled the turns well. A lot of positives I thought about this work. The company, by the way, has been second in maiden special weight company, and they look like they're finishing up very equally together, so it gives you an indication. And I asked Dan Blacker, has this filly shown a lot of ability? And he said, yes, decent ability.
Did you tell Dan you were coming on the seminar, or do you think he was just telling you?
I text him, so.
Surprise, surprise, Dan. From your lips to the entire world. You like Goatsky's second best, but you actually like the morning line favorite, number 4, Darling Tammy, taking blinkers off for trainer Jeff Bondy best. What do you like about her?
Yeah, I think there's a huge weight shift here. The filly has got the bug rider, and it's going to be carrying 113 pounds. Now, that's a lot of weight shift compared to, say, Mima, for example, is carrying 126 in here. So the weight shift, and I just think that 2 races back, that one turf race that the filly ran was good enough to win against this. She ran a strong number. She's got tactical speed. She draws well. A lot to like about her, and most importantly, she has racing experience.
Millie, I'm going to put you on the spot with one additional question. I'm not going to give you much time to think about it. You know, handicappers out there always want to know about a hidden nugget. Do you and Tim back in the barn maybe have a 2-year-old that you think has a lot of promise that you can maybe share with us way ahead of his or her first start?
Okay, I like a horse, and I love the name. Achtung Baby. Achtung Baby. It's a hard one to say. It's German.
Wasn't that a YouTube
like
song?
My husband.
Okay.
Achtung Baby.
Okay.
And I believe it was, but spelt differently.
Okay.
He's
showed you a little bit in the morning.
He's already worked out of the gate and up to about a half mile now. And yeah, I like him.
We're not ready to say Achtung Baby quite yet. That's because we've got one more wager to consider. The $1 coast-to-coast pick 5. It's been chalky the last 2 days, but have you seen what it pays? Almost $400 and $600, even when it's chalky. Last weekend payouts were in excess of $20,000. Today's $1 coast-to-coast pick 5 with the low 15% takeout kicks off in Gulfstream Park, race number 8, 1:36 p.m. Pacific time. You can see 3 of the 5 races originate right here from the Great Race Place. You've already done the work on those. Check out Gulfstream Park. Put a ticket together. Who knows? You might wind up a winner. We're always a winner whenever we have Millie Ball as our seminar guest today. Millie, thanks so much for your time and insight.
Of course.
Have a great day, a great afternoon on the desk, and we'll do the seminar sometime soon.
Let's get lucky.
Let's get lucky. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great afternoon, I should say. Wish you nothing but the best of luck. Also, remember, special holiday racing tomorrow. That's right, Memorial Day Monday. 11 races starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, including the Grade 1 Gamely, the Grade 1 Shoemaker Mile, and the Grade 2 Hollywood Gold Cup. Should be a great afternoon, both today and tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you soon.
please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track conditions are brought to you by John Deere, and we are fast and firm with the rail on the turf out 10 feet. Here are the changes. No new reports. Race 1, number 7, Chase and Ryan, 1 pound over. Early pick 5 starts with the first. Early pick 4 begins with race 2. The third is the Santa Margarita Stakes. Scratch number 3, Where's My Ring? There is a middle pick 4 again today. It starts with the 4th. No changes. Race 5, number 7, Jimmy Delivers, will carry 2 pounds over. The pick 6 starts with the 5th. In the 6th, scratch 1, Polythene Pam, and 6, Happy as a Clam. All turf pick 3 and late pick 5 start with the 6th. In the 7th, scratch 1, Just Is, 4, Full Moon Grazing, and 7, St. Sheila, 147 out of race 7. In the 8th, we start the late pick 3. No scratches or jockey changes. The 9th kicks off the late daily double. Just a blinker note. And in the 10th, there's a $22,000 plus carryover in the super high 5. Nobody hit it yesterday. Number 6, Sexy Blue, make the jockeys Seraphin Carmona. Scratch the alsos 12, 13, and 14. We are 26 minutes away from the opener and the coast-to-coast pick 5. Combines races from Gulfstream and Santa Anita every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Low 15% takeout. It starts in a little more than an hour with Gulfstream's 8th.